I absolutely love giving my players magic items. The weirder the item, the more chaos it causes, and the more we're having fun at the table. In this video, I want to share how I create unique magic items that get my players excited. I've been working on my first big fantastical adventure book collection called Dragontown and the Darkness Below, and this thing is full of magic items. There's something like 100 of them in these 200 pages of adventure, and everything is system neutral. So I'm trying to stay away from creating magic items with explicit mechanics attached, but that doesn't mean I'm not coming up with interesting items that your players are gonna love. When I personally create magic items, I start by choosing one of 3 different types of items. I try to keep these 3 concepts in mind whenever I'm creating items on the fly. It just makes it way easier. My hope is that by sharing these 3 concepts and my process for making magic items, you'll get inspired to make your own too. Now, the first concept is to make a magic item that just makes sense in the world, in the fiction. I think right now I could use a magic ring or something to get rid of this sunburn, but a real example from the Dragontown adventure is this wand of echoes. There are these bat cultists and they have this big temple. When I imagine that everyone gathers around, the cult leader uses this wand to project their voice and give whatever kind of sermon they're giving about the darkness returning. The players will find this item during their adventure. Maybe it's of interest to them because it's a magic wand and they're going to want to know what it does. But really, it's more about telling the story of this place. How the players end up using the wand is going to be up to them. And that kind of leads us into the second type of magic item, and that's an item that the players will find super useful. An item to make their adventure way easier is one that they will always get excited about. So these simple shadow shades are a really basic item. They just allow whoever's wearing them to see in the dark. But when 3/4 of this campaign is set in the underground where it's going to be dark, these are probably going to be some of the most used magic items in the entire set. That's right, I did just say set. I am actually creating an entire deck of magic item cards for the Dragontown and the Darkness Below box set. This whole project is coming to Kickstarter on September 24th, and a big reason for raising funds through this campaign is so I can create an awesome box set that is full of cool physical extras that are really for making playing at the table super fun. I'm putting together these mock-up cards. I'm just printing them out at home, so the color is way more dull than the final cards will be. The final cards are actually going to be legit awesome with rounded corners and extra thick paper. They're going to match the cover of the book with the gold dragon, mayor of Dragontown, protecting his treasure on the back of the card. And these magic item cards are a big part of that box set. I just love handing my players magic item cards when they finish a big fight, or find some treasure, or even as a reward for being curious. I probably overload them with too many items in my games, but I think it's just so fun to see them get excited. It's like I'm actually handing them the treasure in real life. I think it's just these really simple gestures. Just making a magic item card to hand to your player can really go a long way to getting them super invested in the game, in the story, in the adventure. The box set is going to come with 52 cards. 44 of them will be from the adventure, and then there'll be 8 additional blank cards because I want you to be able to write and create your own magic items to give to your players while running through this adventure as well. I want you to have all the tools you need to explore Dragontown and the Darkness Below, but also be able to do some creating of your own. I'll talk more about the other stuff that's in the box in upcoming videos, but for now, I've got more useful tips for creating your own magic item. So a magic item can make sense in the world, it can be useful to players, or it could also be an item that makes an NPC seem really, really cool. So later in the Dragontown adventure, the players might find themselves eaten by a giant worm, the Emperor of Worms, and having to fight in this giant bug gladiator pit. I told you things are gonna get weird in this adventure. But anyway, the champion of the gladiators is this beetle that is riding this giant millipede steed, and if the players fight Titan, the beetle dude, they will go against his elytron blade, and it's basically like a beetle's sword that's also a shield. So it looks like he's got this huge iridescent sword, but when they attack, the sword transforms into a beetle armor shield. I guess technically that item makes sense for a gladiator beetle to have, and it would also be super useful for the players. But when I'm actually in the process of coming up with this stuff, it's more about being cool and being weird than it is about being sensible and useful for the players. Maybe it's just my players, but they love it the most when the item is weird and out there and super cool. I thought of one the other day. It's this necklace or an amulet that just makes the neck of whoever's wearing it like super stretchy, like Mr. Fantastic or something, but just their neck. The item doesn't really make sense in the world, and I'm not sure that it's even useful. I guess it could make an NPC seem cool. I mean, at very least, it'll make that NPC memorable if their neck is super stretchy around or whatever. But really what got me excited about this crazy amulet is knowing that my players, if they got it into their hands and started wearing it around, they would definitely use it to come up with some insane solution to a problem that I throw at them. And they'll do it when I least expect it, and it'll be super awesome. That's what's really cool about magic items, giving the players extra tools to have more fun exploring the world that us as GMs create and throw them into. Now, I am really stoked on how these magic item cards came out. I only mocked up 4 of them, but the entire deck is going to be filled with some excellent items that get your players cooking up some daring plans and inventive solutions. So if you're interested in getting a book that has a crap ton of weird and fun magic items, definitely check out Dragontown in the Darkness Below. It launches on Kickstarter on September 24th, but you can find out more by checking out the first link in the description, and you can also sign up to be notified as soon as the Kickstarter launches. A nice reminder. Stay tuned for more info about Dragontown and the box set. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!